a little bit sleepy, but something's come through, and just wanted to connect with anybody that considers themselves an empath or a healer. And it is still a weird word for me to embody, so that's my own stuff, but I am a healer. I resonate a lot with Chiron, a wounded healer, because, you know, we haven't got it all right and still working through our shit. But really, I think it's all about just being a space holder. When we're able to do the shadow work and do the inner work and do the, well, all kinds of work, and not in the grind kind of way, I just mean self-observation, start on the journey of self-mastery, intention, changing our intentions daily to self-loving acts and dream lives, and focusing on things that we know we deserve and we want to move towards, personally, in partnership, in the community, and for the collective highest good, is that we start to observe our pain much easier, or with more ease, sorry. Words are, I've just been silent for a while, so we start to observe our pain with more ease because we are at ease with ourselves. We've started to, and I guess why I do connect with Amenism, shamanism is across our lives, if we do believe, which I don't know why anyone wouldn't, but there is lots of past lives and that lead up to the now, and they do influence how our soul evolves across the ages. And that's why, you know, you can have deep connections with people. That's why you can have instant soul recognition. You can have, and that can be good and bad. That can be a negative, like a karmic negative connection, or a positive karmic connection. Karmic is just a lesson. Yeah, it's just a connection that might be fleeting, might be for a moment in time. Even though we feel it's a forever or eternal thing, in the present physical realm, it will be whatever it needs to be to provide the karmic lesson. But because we're able to see our wounding more, we can start to identify with how that makes us feel at a soul level. When we find more of our purpose, we can start to see and feel how that makes us peaceful and calm and secure in our own selves, because we've found that at a soul level. And so with this shamanism, with this work of looking and allowing through meditation or journeying or ceremony, or however we resonate, it doesn't have to be with plant medicine, it can be with deep meditation. However our brains function, we all have very, very different psychic gifts, you know, clairaudience, clairsentient, lots of different things. And we can then start to journey back and collect parts of, as I've said before, parts of our souls that have been fragmented across the ages. It's something that I really have, well, worked on and felt, and that is why things like Atlantis and you know, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. If it's all fiction, cool, whatever. But I've had very, very strong images, visions, and right, you might call it dreams, whatever. But I know I'm connected to Atlantis. I know I'm connected to ancient Egypt. I know I'm connected to Valhalla and various Viking nations and Zulu nations and other Ashanti, well, kingdoms that are from the old days, the old worlds as well. And when we start to go on these journeys of I don't want to say collection because it makes it think like it's a thing. When we start to go on this journeying of aligning our soul, of finding these parts of ourselves that we've misplaced or have been so traumatized in that moment in time that we've left it there, and then we've reincarnated. You know, it can be through death, it can be through trauma, rape, whatever. we've left it there. And so that's why some of us, even, you know, even if you think, or we think we've got a good job, we've got this, we've got that, we've got everything on paper, we're still lost, and we feel lost. There's this sense of emptiness inside, and that's because we have lost parts of ourselves. And so through guidance of loved ones, shamanism, research, online material, little random encounters with people throughout the day, throughout the week, or in nature. You can have encounters with, people might think it weird, I have eagles, I have birds literally come up and perch themselves in the tree to pass their messages on. Whatever that means to anybody else, I know what I'm hearing. And I have been able to pull all, I don't think it's all, I'm being corrected, I've pulled many of the parts that have been fragmented across my timelines together. And that helps me identify pain and helps me to be able to, well, one of my gifts is I do see things in other people that maybe they're unable to identify in themselves. And I believe we can all get to this level of empathic reading, because it's just about delayering and decluttering from the trauma and coming back to the soul level, because the soul is pure. So we can, the light in me mirrors the light, mirrors and honors the light in you, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know where this started. Sorry, I've been inside, a bit quiet, so had this download. But I just wanted to say that we are all our own healers. Like, we can be led and guided by people that are out there calling themselves healers. Me calling myself a healer, well, I don't put it online. I say it reluctantly, but I guess I am. It's just about harnessing our own light, our own personal power, because that comes from wholeness, that comes from soul nourishment, that comes from nurturing ourselves, that comes from embodying the divine masculine energy of self-authority, of independence, of guidance, of focus, of strength, and embodying the divine feminine of flow, of nourishment, nurturing the mother, the carer, the unconditional love, the reception, the receiving element of you know, not forcing, not striving, not rushing, not pushing. And so this surrendering to all of these processes and coming back to self, to the soul. Because someone said something really interesting to me recently, we were discussing physicality and consciousness, and that we're the same, we're all the same. The physicality, our consciousness is the same. It's our soul that is different, because that is our essence. So that is what makes us different. Even though with oneness, you know, we can say we are all the same. This is a collective consciousness. We are one, we are the same. It is our soul that is different. And so each of our souls have these unique blueprints. And as I've mentioned before, if some people have watched my stuff or read any of my bits and bobs, is my unique blueprint is a very, very big connection to sound. Some of the people that have transitioned across to ever more coming towards me from the musical space. It's making me laugh now, sorry. From the musical space. I guess that's why I've been drawn to music. I grew up with, you know, my mum absolutely adores music, and I've been around people that dance, and you know, I mentioned in the video before, I was promoting music in London for a bit. I've been to many, many gigs across lots of different countries, and that is, I guess, where my purse bled dry for many years, because I just was spending it on gigs and music. That was where my soul was being called, because I felt the energy. It took me, I think it was the shamanic journeying before I even knew what that term was. And a drummer brother of mine, did mention to me once, he said he loves that, he full joyed watching my shaman emerge when he was drumming, when he was playing, and they were much more advanced in their spiritual practice at that point in time. I didn't even know what I was doing, what I was harnessing, what energy was coming through me, who was channeling with me. Now I obviously connect with, there's two females that I connect with, especially if there's some, if there's some South Africa, if there's deep house, Afro house, gom music. And it's different because reggae I've got a Rasta guy called Fred, so there's very different energies that come through me with music. So my blueprint, my soul, my essence is sound. I've been drawn to sound healing. I've been drawn to singing bowls. I've been drawn to that frequency, and more recently, as I've wrote and whatever it means to people, I was initiated or activated, or I don't know what even the word was, but I first, after years of never ever connecting with Latin America, I've never connected to any type of energy like that. It's been purely from other spaces in the geographical spaces in the world, is that I was welcomed by the Arawaks in Jamaica. I was called to the tobacco plant to commune with the Arawaks, and I have got a chief connection. Just new for me. Yeah, it sounds weird, but I can't ignore this shit. I can't unhear it. I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't unfeel the feelings that I felt sitting in the sunshine, being called to the plant with my drum under pure solar energy. So I don't even know what the point of this download is that we are all a healer for each other. We are the healer for ourselves. I believe also, they're pushing me to say, is that yes, I am a healer, and I believe we can all be our own healer. Like, we don't really need to be going to somebody continually and shelling out continually to others. To be honest, when I look back and reflect back of the clients that I've had over the past 2-3 years, I've maybe 1 or 2 sessions and it's an activation, and then it's gone, fly like a bird. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't been drawn to the membership thing or anything like that, because there's this interdependence, this codependency thing that I don't know. I just anyway, we all have our ways of how we deal with our clients and who needs more support and whatever. But we are stronger than we give ourselves credit. There's a deep knowingness inside. As a woman, there's a deep knowingness in our wombs. As the men, we've got incredible muscle memory and things coming through from ancient realms where we have been warriors, and we have been Atlanteans. We have been a whole heap of very strong lion masculine energy. So it's just a question of intention. How can we tap into that? Do we feel we might need to be in the water to start that journey? Do we feel we might need to be sitting in front of a fire to start that journey? Do we feel like we might need to be giving a tree a hug to start that journey? Do we feel like we might need to be flying a kite or swirling things in the air and deep breath work to be connecting with that part of the journey with air? Or do we need to be going deeper with spirit into the ether, into other realms with shamanic or psychedelic work or whatever? The choice is ours. We can't allow other people to tell us what we need. You know, you go to somebody, I don't like the word advice, we go to somebody else for guidance, but that person, that healer, should really be asking you what words are coming out from your study, pulling things out of you in terms of intention and ideas, not energetics. We don't want anybody bleeding us dry. We don't want anybody saying, you should do this, you should do that, you know, because that's, one, there's a lot of magicians in this space. There's a lot of people that work with darker energies that prey on what they view as weak-minded people, when it's not. It's just people that are in their shadow, so you just can't see it. They are incredibly strong. We all are incredibly strong. We've all been through a whole load of shit across the ages, across the realms, across our timelines. And I think all the message is that blimey, this is long. What you got me doing, Spirit? Sorry. Is that we just need to start believing. It's really believing. We was talking about, you know, for me, there was one big false quote that's been sort of mentioned throughout my life is, you know, seeing is believing. It's the biggest lie in the world. Believing is seeing. Those teeny tiny misplacement of words change the way our human psyche or consciousness can manifest and can harness our personal power. You don't need to see something to believe it. You need to believe in it for it to be seen, for it to be manifested. all is the mind. Everything we create is from a mental space. And so that's why it's really important that our, yes, mental health as well as spiritual health is in alignment with our heart. Yeah, heart overhead sometimes. We have to be practical, we have to be mindful. Sorry, I got a lot of clearing coming up. We have to be practical, we have to be mindful. We want to be safe, but we know what we need. Yeah, guidance, but we can't give our power away to people. Gurus continue, can't give our power away, our money away, our hope, no, the practice is us. Come back to self. What can we do in the morning? How do we want? And yeah, I just don't want people to give up on themselves, because the energy can be a bit whirlwindy at the minute, because it is intense, because we're going into a part of history that we've never ever been before. These are incredible times to be alive. And the feeling of bringing everything together, coming home, is magical. Because once we've reached that point of eternal soul groundedness and earthing and wholeness, fullness, we can then start to explore other mysteries, other things that talk to us, like me with the ethereal realms of the elementals. That's something I'm drawn to. Someone else might go down the route of Rastafari. Someone else might go down the route of dragons, which, yes, that's something that is connected to me, I'm connected to, but my focus at the minute is a few other things. Someone might want to go down the realm of ancient or Mesopotamia, or Persia, or herbalism. There's so many things that once we come back to a level of groundedness in the physical space, in physical body, physical realm, that we can then explore even greater mysteries and beauties hidden in plain sight that we don't get to see because of the layers of conditioning and programming and trauma. But that was long. I apologise. I trust it made sense. I'll have to watch it back. In these videos, I don't actually, I'm not fully aware of what I've just said, so I trust it makes sense. And we all have the power to come back home.